you. I appreciate you. So our phenoms, our millennial phenoms will be right back with us, but we had to get the link going, and I'm just going to talk for a minute. Can everybody hear me? I hope everybody can see me out here. And hopefully I appreciate your patience. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. Michelle Brown, good afternoon to you, sis. It is so good to see you. It is just absolutely wonderful to see you here on this afternoon. Now, I want to say thank you for holding on. Tyrone Busky, I was just saying to you, it's good to see you in the house on today. So come on in the room. Come on in the room. Here comes Shelly Welly. Here comes Shelly Welly. And Lena Will. Phoenix Leor is going to be right behind. I would thank you guys, and you guys don't want to miss. I promise you, you look beautiful, girl. You look absolutely stunning. Their day been.
You know, it has been a day. I didn't even realize it was time for this when it was time for this. I ate breakfast late. I was just lollygagging today.
Oh my goodness.
But I'm here and I love to be here.
Listen, you got 3 babies that you're taking care of. You ought to be able to lollygag every now and again, don't you think?
You know what? I do. I appreciate the times when I can because it's not always like this.
Come on, sis. Come on.
It's not often I get the chance.
I'm trying to tell you. I heard she's in the room. She's in the room. She's in the room. We just want to see her beautiful face. And wow, there she is. Phoenix Leor. Now I see your name, but I don't see your face. So she's gonna go out and come back in. You all, I just don't know what to say. We got some technical difficulties going on here today, and we're gonna try to get everything straightened out and all on. There she is. Let's try. There she
is. In case the audience didn't know, Lena is a whole model. She just blew my phone up with the most gorgeous photos I think I've ever seen. I don't think I can share these because they're from someone's wedding, but I have tears in my eyes are watering. Like, Lena's a whole runway goddess out here. I mean, it's everything for me. It's the lighting, it's the glow, it's all of this. I don't even understand. I love it. Listen, and these are like cell phone shots. I can't even imagine what it would look like underneath like runway full on lighting. This is ridiculous.
That's so sweet. That's so sweet. Thank you so much.
Lena, it's the truth. It's the truth. You came in and it was like, I am here to slay. And slay you did. Slay
you hear me? You hear me? Listen, I was really trying. Actually, my friend for the audience, my friend Aaliyah Clark. Well, you know, she's not Aaliyah Clark anymore, but she got married this past weekend, not this week, on the 26th, and so I was asked to be in her wedding, so I had a really good time, and you know, she's very like an extra person, so she wanted everybody to be like, I want y'all to come in and be beautiful, and I thought she picked a beautiful bridesmaid dress, and I was just feeling myself a little bit.
She did, but you wore that dress.
You did.
Let me tell you, I was trying that dress.
I was trying to. That dress took me through a little bit, but I loved it. And it ended up being a very beautiful ceremony. And I was saying, man, I haven't been to a wedding in so long, so it was good to be at a wedding. What about you guys? When's the last time you've been to a wedding?
My own. Wait. Yeah, my own.
Really?
I had a cousin get married while we were in Hawaii, but we had already traveled home that year, and we only planned to travel home once a year while in Hawaii. So I wasn't able to make it. So the last wedding I went to was my own.
Oh, I see.
And I keep telling my friends, like, can y'all find a husband? I want to be somebody's bridesmaid.
Listen, honey, it's rough out here. Okay, we trekking, we trying to get it right.
I want to be at this point. I'm about to join one of those websites. They have like it's like a dating website, but not for dates, just for like fake bridesmaids.
Oh,
yeah.
What?
I just want to be somebody's fake bridesmaid.
I cannot take it. I've never heard of that.
Now, Shelly, explain that to me, because
I've never heard of that.
So you know how on Tinder you swipe right when you want to, get in bed with somebody. On these ones, you swipe right when you want somebody to be in your wedding. You don't have any friends, but you want like a cute little bridal party. So you swipe right if you think it's somebody you'll mesh with and they'll look good in the dress and they can stand beside you.
Okay, so back that thing up because you lost me on the swipe right when there's somebody you want to get in bed with.
Lord.
So Tinder is a dating app, and I mean I've never had a dating app. Thankfully, I found my love before dating apps came about. But my understanding is that you swipe left and right whether you like someone or don't like someone. So Tinder, when you want to bed somebody, you swipe right. You let them know, hey, I'm feeling you.
Mm-hmm.
So fast forward it, apply it to the Bridesmaids app. You swipe right when you want somebody to be your bridesmaid. You think you'll mesh with them and they can look good in that dress.
This is why I come on Reboot, because I'm so far behind the times. Obviously, swipe right, swipe left. I had no. Lena, did you know this?
I know the swipe right, swipe left, but I didn't know they had a site for bridesmaids. I had never heard of that. But you know, once they did for Tinder, the swipe left, swipe right, all the dating apps kind of just took over the way that they do that. So you could do that on POF, you could do it on Black, you could do it on. I mean, I don't know all the sites, but the ones I've been on, you can kind of do the swipe right, swipe left too.
Yes, James Sims is like, what the what? Yes, Mufasa. Me and you, we're in the same space right here because they threw me completely off the train, just having some chit chat conversation, like, and you see how casually you said that, Shelly. You know, like swipe right, and I'm like, back that thing up. You said what?
You gotta swipe. You gotta let them know. So I like you, I don't like you.
So usually on the apps you swipe right, and if somebody else swipes right on you, then they tell you, oh, this is a match, and so then you can start messaging them. So is it the same thing on that app? Like you start messaging them?
Yeah, it's the same thing for the bridesmaids. You can start messaging, see if you guys are in the same whatever. If you're in the same town, if you
have to pay
available their wedding weekend. I'm sure there's been some transactions, but you're not. It's not required like on the app.
Wow. Now, wait a minute.
I'm sure that there has been, though.
Michelle Brown, I'm glad you're back. Girl, they done threw me for a loop already. They done already threw me off the train and we just getting started, Michelle. Okay, so help me to understand. So why would I want a fake bridesmaid? I don't understand that. I want somebody to stand with me, but there's nobody.
Are about... This generation is really about aesthetics. Some of my generation, I will say, I've seen it, but especially the generation underneath me. And so they want to look good and they want the day to be like picture perfect, but they don't really care about having like the genuine relationships. So they're willing to go online and just find a woman who looks good, looks like she'll look good next to them in a cute little bridesmaid dress. And yeah, I mean, they just don't care about having genuine connections.
That's hella weird to me.
It is. But I'm doing it because my friends won't find husbands.
So she's doing it. Well, listen, I mean, I think my opinion is if you are getting married, I would imagine you want the women that's up there with you, standing with you. They're going to be the women who are going to support you through that marriage. So I would think that's who you would want if they're not a complete total stranger. And maybe, it could be the catalyst to start a relationship with a random person. But I think that probably comes along because not a lot of people, some people don't have a lot of people in their circle. So you want to have the picture perfect wedding with 5 or 7 or 10 bridesmaids, but who are these 10 people? You got 2 cousins, your mama can't be up there. You know what I mean? You don't have no friends because you got into it with all your high school friends. You don't talk to nobody no more. And so now you got to go to this app, bridesmaidme.com. What is it, Shelly? What's it called?
I really don't. I need to find the name. I heard about it on another podcast. I need to find the name because I really want to be a fake bridesmaid.
I think it would be fun to do just to go to somebody's wedding because I like weddings, but I wouldn't have just no random stranger up there. Matter of fact, I probably won't have too many people up there, but we'll see. But I always like to see the ones where
the 2 of us.
Exactly. We can make it.
Lena, you sang at the wedding. Sing a little bit. What did you sing at the wedding?
Our Father.
Yes.
Which art in heaven, Hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be. I sang a Lord's Prayer.
That is beautiful. I love
it. I enjoyed it. I'm gonna tell now. This is what's funny. Okay, now listen. I was supposed to walk into the wedding before the wedding party because it's only one aisle. And so I had to go up there before the ceremony started because I was gonna sing at the beginning of the ceremony.
Yes,
honey, we were supposed to do a toast in the back of the reception hall, and so everybody had a glass of champagne. And so then the wedding coordinator comes to me. She said, "You're supposed to be in that in the chapel." I said, "Oh Lord!" So I done walked. I'm trying to hurry up and walk to the chapel, but I still got this glass of liquor in my hand, and so I just walk into the wedding, into the chapel with my glass of champagne. I walk to the front. I walk up to the front, and honey, I got this glass of champagne. And I'm trying to like hide it a little bit. I'm like, oh, geez, I'm in a church with this liquor. I'm a heathen. And then I take a sip, and I'm like, I can't believe I'm sitting here drinking champagne in the church. And I was like, it's only supposed to be red wine and Jesus' blood in the church. Now here I am with this champagne. And I go ahead and finish it off. And I'm feeling good at that point. I didn't mean to, but the wedding coordinator was like, get in the chapel. I'm like, all right. And so here I am walking down the aisle with this, and I know people was like,
that's you should have started singing there's something in this liquor.
Something in this, right? That's what I should have said. And I look back at my mama because there was just two rows behind me. She was like, what are you doing? She said, what is that in your hand?
Do you see what's in your hand?
She kept saying, give me that. And I was like, I'm gonna finish it. I'm already in here.
Oh my goodness. So you had the option to relinquish the glass.
She was just gonna hold it. I might as well go ahead and finish it and then hand it to them. Yeah, I forgot about that part. That part was funny.
I cannot.
I didn't mean to do that, but it is what it is. And God said He's a forgiving God. Okay, so if I come into the church with liquor, it is what it is. Come as you are, and that's how I was, and that's how I came. And Jesus blessed. Because that song sounded pretty good.
All right now. All right.
Listen,
that's funny. Funny.
Yeah. Hey, Gene, have you been to any weddings lately? And then we can move on.
Lena, I've been doing weddings every single weekend.
My God.
Now, you guys tell me, because it's like in my day, in my mother's day, June was the bride's month. Now it's like I have never seen so many people getting married in September every single weekend. And then I'm assuming as well that there's a change from the Saturday wedding to the Sunday wedding, because I cannot tell you how many people had Sunday weddings. I'm like, September weddings is like the new June bride. So
it really is.
Every single weekend I've had a wedding.
I want to say September is because it's more fall, but I'm not sure. But I do know the Sunday weddings is because it's cheaper. It's like thousands of dollars cheaper to rent a venue on a Sunday than a Saturday.
Really? Well, I'm telling you, Sunday. Every time I turned around, I was like, I do service on Sunday, but baby, I'm leaving the service trying to run to the wedding because everybody was getting married on Sunday. So, and that's really why I wasn't able to make it down to Dallas for my baby's wedding, because that's another one of my babies, but I just could not get it all with the schedules that I was doing. I couldn't get it all worked in. So it was just going to be a matter of, okay, so I've got a wedding that I'm doing on Saturday, and then like I said, Saturday, Sunday. So I just could not get the opportunity to get down to. I would have had to fly into Dallas for that wedding and fly back. But man, it's been every single week for me, to answer your question.
I would think it was because of the temperature wise, because June is kind of a hot month now, and then July is real hot. I would think they wait till September because it's kind of in the middle. It's kind of cool. You probably you might have less chance for rain. Yeah, a lot of people got married in September.
Y'all got me on this Twitch.
What's going on?
Y'all got me on this twin. I feel like an old person trying to navigate this twin.
For all our viewers, Shelly is on Twitch and she's not used to it quite yet. She's trying to figure it out. That's why she leaned over on her hand like that. What is this
here Twitch?
What is this here Twitch?
Now Michelle just let us know, Michelle, like Shelly said, half price on Sundays. So I see why Sunday wedding's so big, but I didn't know.
I wonder why.
Well, it's just the difference between one day and the other. I don't know. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always thought I could understand why the weekdays are cheaper because obviously it's harder for people to get off of work and so on and so forth. But the 2 weekend days should be evenly priced.
Exactly.
But no, it's massively cheaper for Sundays.
You would think. Now, not to be morbid, but coming from the funeral direction, the Saturday is going to always be the more premium price because typically everybody wants Saturday. And I'm going to guess the same thing probably happened with weddings. Everybody wants Saturday for the wedding venue, event space. And the demand is so high that it's like to get people off of Saturday, cut that price. Get them over to Sunday. I'm guessing that's probably what happened.
And still get business. Yeah, that because if you're booked up on the day that everybody wants the wedding, you want to kind of like spread that out and also make money on the other days. Because I'm telling you that event space that my friend had her wedding at, it was amazing. It was beautiful. It was like a mansion. They had water fountains. They had a chapel. It was very beautiful. It was on a vineyard. And so I could imagine that, it's expensive to have that type of business. So it's important for you to kind of, come up with creative ways to make good money. So
get the people in there. You want the people in there. Good afternoon, Shelly.
Hey now.
Shelly Thunder's in the room, y'all. Shelly Thunder's in the room. Let me see if I can. There we go.
Yes. Oh.
You hear that, Thunder? She's in the room, y'all. She's in the room. So I'm thinking that's what it is, Lena. It
probably is.
But I don't know.
My friend, she was a beautiful bride, Miss Aaliyah Richardson. Now, honey, if you're watching this podcast, we want to say congratulations to you, and we want to wish you just prosperity in your marriage. And I'm excited for y'all. Where the kids at? Because that's what I'm waiting for. Oh, okay.
Absolutely. Here we go. And so it was just a beautiful, I'm telling you, all of those pictures were just absolutely unbelievable. And I was like, y'all better get it. And you and your mama and your sister, to everybody. I'm Makiba, the mother of the bride, everybody. Now, I just want to say while we're waiting for Shelly to come back, I want to say that the father of the bride, that joker was sharp as
period.
Oh my God. Oh,
yes.
That was absolutely unbelievable. I said, Bruce
came through.
Bruce came through. Was it velvet? That baby had on green.
Had emerald green velvet tux.
It was sinful. It was sinful.
It was amazing. It was great. Then you look down, he had the matching I don't know what kind of shoes. Stacey Adams, I don't know what kind of shoes, guys, the brand or whatever, but he had the matching green. Oh, he looked sharp. He looked nice.
Oh, that man, nice.
You could tell that man was from Kansas City. He was just he was in there, okay? He wasn't playing. Harold Pinner's on him. You hear me?
He represented. He
was not playing.
I gotta give it up.
Yeah, he did a good job. Everybody looked beautiful.
That's not the one I wanted, y'all. I got one for you. You like that?
Bless him.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, that's where y'all were looking heavenly. Y'all was just looking heavenly. But this is the one I was. Here we go. This is the one I was really trying to get. Rebel, she said he looked like Harold Pinners.
Harold Pinner. Who's Harold Pinners?
It's a store in Kansas City where if you want a sharp suit, you go to Harold Pinners, baby. It was in the Landon first, then it was on 63rd. I don't know where it's at now. But
listen, you don't know Harold Pinners?
No Harold Pinners. I just Googled it.
Oh my God. Okay. Well,
I cannot.
He was tight. He was tight. He was tight and he was right.
All the deacons, all the pastors, all the top-notch, what do you call them, political people, they go to Harold Pinners because I'm telling you.
Harold Pinners is a mood. They have the matching ties and the matching shoes.
Everything. Everything. Right. Who is that? But Easter.
This looks like Men's Warehouse, but for us.
Mino, you know, I was getting ready to say Easter. When you see the men that come out at Easter time and they just look like everything is matched, the hat, the shoes, the tie, everything. They came from here. That's Harold Penner's look.
And I'm here for it, honey. I'm here for all of it. I love it.
You gotta love a good suit with a good cologne to top it off.
Listen,
that cologne.
You put in effort.
And that haircut is clean too. Oh
we
man,
see you. We see you.
Listen.
I look back. I had. Hey, wait. Excuse me, sir. I just want to say hi to you. How you doing? Cause you smelling good. What is that? Something about it. That's the dynamic duo: a suit, some cologne, and a fresh haircut.
The trio.
Yes.
That's the trio right there.
Yes, it is.
Listen. Okay, y'all. Well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get into our topic today. We got a little bit of something different for y'all today, so I'm excited. Today we're going to be talking about perspective and points of views. Okay, this is something that's kind of a common theme for us on this show. But I have a question. I would love to hear. How do you guys use the idea of perspective in your life?
Me, I like to kind of look at everyone's POV. Like anytime I get into a situation where I'm like tasked to, I don't know, challenge my thought, I try to find out how other people could look at what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at the end of the day, I'm going to make my decision how I want to make it, but I will consider how other people's perspective affects the situation as well.
So why do you do that?
I don't want to. Sometimes I think it's necessary to. Well, I won't say it's necessary to step on toes, but I feel like sometimes it's necessary to be your full power, regardless how other people are going to look at it. But I do like to kind of know, okay, well, they're probably going to be angry with this, so I need to prepare myself for that conversation.
Mm-hmm. What about you,
So I like to know how other people are feeling.
Okay.
I think I'm going to be similar. I do when I have something that is my perspective, but I also try to see it from as many perspectives as possible before actually making or taking action. Because I think sometimes you need to step out of yourself and out of your personal perspective to try to expand so that your relationship or whatever you're responding to or whatever the situation calls for can really, I want to say, be appropriate and balanced and everything that you can bring to that particular scenario from a more rounded perspective rather than just this right here.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that it has, what do you think it has to do with truth? Or do you even consider them both? Do you ever think about perspective and what it means for truth or what it means for something to be actually true? Or is that something that kind of go together to you?
Yeah, no, absolutely. No matter how you feel, we can't negate facts. You know what I mean? So if it is what it is, I'll be empathetic to how somebody is feeling about it or what they think about it. But that's all I can do. I can't change what the facts are, what the truth is.
Okay. Go ahead, Angie.
No. I was just getting ready to say I may be just a little bit different because at my age and stage, I feel like I'm having more experiences of enlightenment where I'm challenging what is truth. So that's some of my reason to step back and look from other perspectives before I automatically respond or react. Because I feel like a lot of the things that I held as truths before can be relative, but a lot of what I knew and thought of as truths before, as I am growing in my consciousness, awareness, and everything, I'm finding out that everything that I took as truth before isn't necessarily truth.
Mm-hmm. I think that's also kind of where I am. I definitely use perspective in my everyday life. I love to consider different things or different topics or anything from different people's perspective. And I'm always trying to figure out, why did somebody react this way, or what gave them that thought, or what is that process?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I miss the ball, especially when it comes to, myself personally, maybe in like relationships. It's harder for me if I feel like, something has happened to me and it has affected me negatively. Sometimes it's more difficult for me to see other people's perspective that's in the situation, or the person who I might consider the person who hurt me. It's hard for me to see their perspective because, I feel like I've experienced an issue, and you should be understanding that from my perspective, and I don't need to understand anything from your perspective, okay? Because I'm the one that's hurt here. So I think I need growth in that area, but I always am thinking, well, why is this, or why is that, or why did they say that, or why did they think that? So I'm always wondering, I guess. Yeah. But do you think that it is important, or do you think that it's more important to kind of be able to just have an idea and go for it without other people's perspective? Because sometimes I do think that, and this is just my opinion, sometimes I do think it can be a little destructive if you're considering too much, or if you're letting it stop you from what you should be doing, or feel like you should be doing.
Mm-hmm. I think, okay, so let me give you an example when you start talking about perspective. Mm-hmm. So I had a relationship where the person was very jealous. The person was very jealous. Well, I think they had a jealous tendency anyway, but the person was very jealous because they had been cheated on. So their constant perspective always was dealt with from a vantage point of having been cheated on and the other person as a cheater. So that was hard for me to comprehend, because I'm like, I'm not a cheater, but I got to deal with this perspective that you're always coming from, because that's always where you're going to go to first. But then I also had to deal with the reality that they had been cheated on. And let me also add, they themselves had been a cheater. So that brought a whole nother dynamic to it as well. So I'm like, okay, if you were a cheater and you were cheated on by a cheater and both of y'all were cheaters, you automatically going to come from this perspective. Everybody's a cheater, but everybody ain't a cheater. So I couldn't wrap my brain around the responses and the reactions of a person that's perspective was cheater, 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 and then trying to show, but I'm not a cheater. And it was amazing. It was just absolutely mind-boggling, because I don't care. The harder you tried, the worse it got, because the only people that see through green glasses only see green. So when you talk to perspective, people that see through green glasses, your perspective, if it's already jaded or it's already jacked in some kind of direction or angle, then we had to deal with the difference between being raised in a household with two parents and a fairly decent income versus somebody that only had one parent in the home and very meager means. And there was just that constant battle, because our perspectives of life almost were completely different, because that vantage point here, my vantage point there, it was just a constant battle. And it was all, to me, an issue of conflicting perspectives.
So then my question is, go ahead, Shelly, you can go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say, I can understand how that feels like you're almost pigeonholed into, number one, you can't breathe, because they probably think that every single thing that you're doing is going to lead to cheating, or is cheating, or whatever the case is. But then from their perspective, release yourself before you move on to another relationship. If you've cheated, if you've been cheated on, do the work to figure out, what led you to that decision, and, what pain the decision on the other person's part caused you. So you're not carrying this trauma on to another relationship.
I think they felt like they were healed. Honestly, I believe they felt like they were healed. And I think I can talk that I was blue in the face, but they were not going to see that their vantage point and perspective was jaded by this idea and perspective of cheating. So, I mean, at some point you just stop trying to talk, because it's like, I can't change your mind, because that's your perspective.
Yeah. And that is when it's important to consider someone else's point of view, because where you think you're healed, someone who loves you and cares for you and sees you on a daily basis can very well see those wounds, and they can help you get to that healed place that you may think you are, but it can always be better.
So my question is, and Jean, you were talking about how it became difficult to have a relationship with the person because of the different perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
How do you, and Shelly, I would like you to answer it too, but how do you deal with that when you and someone has a different perspectives and it's an issue? How do you move on or continue the relationship or continue the growth with those different perspectives?
Everybody's got to be open to hear the other person's perspective and adjust and adapt to it. But if that's going to work, then I have to understand the perspective of coming from a single parent home where finances were a challenge and you did this and that and the other to survive, because that's foreign to me. I don't, I don't know about utilities being cut off. I don't know about, and I'm not saying that to be arrogant or condescending. I'm just saying that's a vantage point I don't have I don't have a perspective to. So I don't know about going out and using food stamps that somebody's selling on the street. I don't know about that. So for me, my vantage point is like totally different. So we're having this conversation where I'm trying to show and talk where I'm coming from, but I'm also asking you to talk to me so I can understand where you're coming from and have a better understanding so I can put a handle on that thing. But, so then I had to back away from my place of judgment where it was like, oh, you buying food stamps on the street, you going to hell. You buying food. I mean,
oh Lord.
Really, I really had to listen. Mel done busted out and said I'm bougie.
Yeah, she bougie on that one. Honey, wait, let's take a break just for everybody that knows. Okay, when you buy food stamps, you find somebody who got food. I just want to let everybody know. So STL says she didn't know. I'm gonna give y'all the knowledge. Somebody that got food stamps, they probably got extra food stamps because for some reason the government give you a lot of food stamps because them kids ain't gonna eat all that money with food. But anyways, you buy the food stamps, it's like half price. It's like half price food. Okay, $1 food stamp is 50 cents in real life. So if you buy $20 worth of food stamp, you're gonna give the person $10 in cash. Okay, just so everybody know. It's kind of dope. That's what I think. Okay, go ahead.
Well, so we're talking about now. So I'm for real.
Not promoting it. We're not promoting
We
it.
are promoting it. We are promoting it. Yes, we are.
I'm not promoting it. It's against the law. That's all
we're not promoting federal fraud.
It's the law to buy somebody else's food stamps. That is against the law. It's against the law to go buy a sticker for your car when your tags are expired and buy a sticker and put it. I'm just saying that's two totally different vantage points. That's
STL.
not a. I don't know that.
It was against the law for Black people to vote and for women to vote. So I just want to say sometimes the law ain't right. Okay, go ahead.
I'm not, and at the end of the day, so I don't want y'all to get mad at me. At the end of the day, we're talking about vantage point.
Yes, we're talking about vantage point.
So this is what I'm saying. So it doesn't have anything to do with the love for the person, but it does get in the way. So you got to have that conversation. Hey, Kai Chick, I see you. You got to have that conversation. And if everybody's not willing to look at everybody else's perspective, it's a done deal. Is it?
That's true.
Sell you some of those food stamps.
Girl, DM me. No, I'm just playing. If I had 5 kids, listen, if I had 5 kids, I would definitely be getting food stamps and I would be selling them. It's a business. That's entrepreneurship. That's entrepreneurship.
That's
illegal.
That
is.
We don't know the formula.
That's what that is, ain't you?
That's illegal. If they catch your tail, you going to jail and you gonna pay some kind of fine. And I said the same thing about the so we buying, but this is the thing. I do want to say this. What it taught me was how much ingenuity and creativity folk came up with to survive. And I had to respect that. I mean, I really had to step back and respect that. But our vantage points were totally different vantage points. And also to take my judgmentalism away from somebody that's had that experience, that's all they know. But that's where, to me, let's share our vantage point. Let me show you this way, you show me that way, and we can all grow and we can all decide what works and what doesn't work. But you got to be open to the other person's vantage point.
Yeah. Now, my other question, yes, I agree with that. Now, my other question was for Shelly, because Shelly said that, if you don't do the work, then you're confused. Shelly, tell me that part again when you were talking about doing the work. of healing from
saying, that. For the cheater and the cheatee, you're both in that situation. You have to do the work to change your perspective, because that's trauma. Like being cheated on. I wouldn't say cheating is trauma, but it's a decision that you have to learn. It's a habit that you have to break. So you have to do the work to stop that habit, heal that trauma, change your perspective, and be able to move forward in a healthy relationship where you're not being cheated on and you're not planning or cheating on someone else.
Right. Tyrone Muskie said, hope the government's not watching. Talking about the food stamps. Listen, the government's trying to figure out what to do with this coronavirus, okay? They're trying to figure out what to do at the border. There's a lot going on at the border right now. They're not worried about nobody selling food stamps right now, okay? Make your money. That's what I think.
And if you are worried about the food stamps, you should be more worried about the PPP loans.
Okay, I'm outvoted. Reboot does not advise you to sell your...
We're not. But at the same time, I'm looking and I'm listening and I'm saying, when you talk about cheating, Shelly, some people are just imitating what they saw in their household, and their parents cheated, their family members cheated. So it's a part of their family system, and they don't necessarily see anything wrong with it. And I have a very, very, very close, she's actually a relative, but she's a friend of mine as well, who her perspective has always been, they gonna cheat. So I don't care how much you say, what you do, they gonna cheat. I'm gonna cheat first. I'm gonna cheat too, whatever the case may be. And everybody's
cheating. You cheat, I cheat back. Everybody's just cheating.
Everybody's cheating.
Listen.
So,
she's incredible, ma'am. Where is your faith? Where is your faith in mankind?
Diesel 704 said, we live in a country where they give you more food stamps than cash, but cream is king. So entrepreneurship is just to do the bare minimums.
I hear you. I hear you. I'm still like, that wasn't my cup of tea. I'm that person when they come up to me and that stuff is hot. That stuff is hot. It's a $5,000 gown, beaded, sharp, just off the chain, and they gonna sell it to you for $20. No, thank you. I don't want it.
But listen,
I think I want the gown. That's different than food stamps.
They're bringing these products in. These companies are outsourcing their companies to different countries to make it cheaper. They bring it in. And then they upsell it to where they're making 100% profit off of these products, or 50% profit. And it's just, you can look at that and say, that's stealing in a way, because we don't have the jobs. We're getting charged so much for it. And it's just like, that's a different perspective. So then people look at it and they see, it doesn't make sense for me to come here and do the right thing and pay $5,000 for this when you only paid $100 for it to get made. It's just like Nike shoes or Jordans.
Talking perspective, ain't nobody in the hood a billionaire. Nobody. So the rule breaking obviously is not a problem. Nobody in the hood is a billionaire. We selling food stamps, selling knockoffs, whatever. But then on the opposite end of the spectrum, on the other side of the coin, we have Jeff Bezos, an almost trillionaire. So who are the rules really in place to support and benefit?
I hear you. I feel y'all's perspective. I hear you. All I'm saying, Rhonda says she getting extra oxtails tomorrow. All I'm saying is, when I'm walking down the street, I don't want it smoking and sizzling on my body, because
right. AG been the one that got arrested because she done bought something for cheap, and the person who sold it to her looking at her like,
I just get smoking and sizzling, Rebel. Smoking and sizzling. See the steam and smoke coming up. That joker is hot. I just can't do it, because then the flip side of that as well. And I know people steal off the docks. I know they steal all different places, but sometimes they stole it out of somebody's house. Shelly, they came in your house, kicked in your door, took your stuff, and it went down.
Insurance. Take it. Take
Right.
it. I need you to take it. As a matter of fact, I need that claim.
Matter of fact, let my friend take the stuff.
I'm done. So that's perspective.
That's perspective, right? That is
I'm not gonna buy it because I think if I know Shelly, that was her prized wedding ring, and they came in her house and stole it. Even though she's gonna get her money back, it's not that ring that she got, and I just can't do that to my sister. Somebody's hurt behind this loss. I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean, I understand.
Perspective. It's just perspective.
Some people see it as stealing, other people see it as an opportunity to kind of make a little money. make a little something. But I did want to ask Shelly, you know, I think this is the issue, right? People, we go back to what Angel gave the example of being in a relationship with somebody who was jealous that stemmed from being cheated on and also cheating on other people. So I think that I would like to know. Wait, Mel said, "Messy, she turned that thing around." Exactly. That's how you turn it around.
I was like, I turned that around.
Do the thing. You do the thing. What you're supposed to do. You hear me? This is my question because I think people get confused with healing and time passing. Okay, because a lot of people will let time pass and it doesn't sting so much that they feel like they're healed, but they haven't done any of the work to actually heal. So my question is, because I think people get confused, what is the actual work that you must do to heal from some of these issues? And like let's say the jealousy thing, and you're in a relationship and you accusing everybody of doing things when there's nothing there actually. And so what is the work? That's my question.
You gotta if you have that much jealousy, you have to get in there. You need to communicate with a professional and figure out where the root of that issue is. And I feel like for a lot of things, people should seek therapy because there's always a underlying problem. Reflect on yourself, and not to say everything that happens to you is your own fault, but reflect on yourself and have the therapy so that you can know why you reacted this way and why you feel this way and how to prevent that reaction again. Maybe you'll notice the red flags in that person, or maybe you'll notice the red flags in yourself and be able to handle it sooner. And I think the jealousy especially comes from yourself. If you're jealous of like your spouse interacting or your partner interacting with other people and things like that, that's a reflection of how you think of yourself.
What you mean?
You're projecting. I feel like I'm not a professional, but I feel like jealousy comes from the fact that you are like, I don't want them to interact with anyone else or get close with anyone else because then maybe they'll leave me. Maybe I'm not good enough to hold this down while they're also interacting with other people.
Okay. I'm kind of getting in my feelings a little bit because I've said it before. I am a very jealous person. This is not just romantic relationships, it's everything. But if we're talking about romantic relationships, I'm very jealous. And I'll give you an example. My ex-boyfriend, I used to have a friend who stayed with me, and her mother came over and she had made some pound cake. And so me and my boyfriend came in and they were here and she was like, "Do y'all want some pound cake?" And we was like, "Yeah, we'll take some." And so my boyfriend gets this pound cake and he just is like, goes in. He's like, "Oh my God, this is the best pound cake I've had in my life. What you put in this? It's so moist." And he just going in. He's like, "Dang, can I get a pound cake?"
She left.
And I'm looking at him like, "Oh." And so then when we left, I was like, "Oh, the pound cake was good, huh? Oh, that was the best pound cake you ever had." I said, I don't know what it was. It just really bothered me. Like, he didn't have to do all of that. All he had to say was, "Thank you, ma'am. This cake is good." That would have sufficed.
Lena, he is not saying that your pound cake is not also good. He's just saying this one right here.
I'm just like, do you like older women or something? Like, why did you? I'm confused. Are you trying to get a cougar? She's in a relationship. That pound cake wasn't. I tasted the same pound cake. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. But I felt like he was doing too much. Okay, and so this is my jealousy issues.
Maybe he ain't even had the pound cakes that you had. So maybe to you it was a pretty good pound cake. But for him, that was the pound cake right there.
But Shelly, did he have to do all of that? He didn't have to do all of that.
He had to hype mama up.
Did he not make over you? Is it you felt like he didn't make over you? Did you feel like you were being deprived of something there? I mean,
I felt like he was being disrespectful because he didn't have to go all the way in. Like, all he had to say, this pound cake is really good. Thank you, ma'am. That's it. He didn't have to say, "Oh my God, this the best pound cake out of." Like I was just like, "What are you doing? You're doing too much."
He needed to let her know.
He shook his head. He was like,
"Now, prior to this, had he given you any inkling that he was attracted to older women?"
Yes. What? He's been with older women. He did tell me that.
See, so that's what it was for you. That's what it was for you. You
I take mental notes, honey.
The math
I take mental notes, and I'm just like, what are you doing? You need to calm down. You want some pound cake? Ask me to make some pound cake. That's all you gotta do.
Had a tip.
I'm just like, yeah. So I definitely have the issues. I really do.
Lena was like, he's getting ready to pound her cake, and I'm done. So
I'm done. I'm out of here.
She's done.
You don't need to compliment nobody else for real. You don't need to make eye contact. All you need to do be, you don't need to talk to nobody separate. You don't need to
give me his number.
Give me your number. Listen, if you need to text somebody that's a woman, you need to put me in the group text. You don't need to be texting nobody by themselves.
Stop it right now.
Listen, I got issues. I really do. But this is the thing about me. I'm a jealous person. But what I need is reassurance because I have been through things in the past. So if I'm telling you, I feel like you're being dishonest. I feel like you're doing something that is that doesn't set well with me. All I need you to do is show me that you're not. Okay. And then what that does for me is I'm able to say, okay, Marlena, this is not the person. This is in your mind. So you need to. So you're dealing with a trustworthy person. So you need to realize it. And so whenever those situations come up, I can actually sit back and say, okay, Marlena, that's not the person. That's what you've been through. That's your mind. Okay. You're not in a bad relationship anymore. You're in a good relationship with a good guy. It's okay. And so if you do that, then those jealousy things are going to be able to kind of, drift away. Now you need to be patient with me, but it will over time go away. Now, if you just say, because if you're just saying, I'm not doing anything wrong and you just need to realize that and understand that and I'm going to be who I am. I ain't did nothing wrong and that's it, accept me. Then that's not going to do well for me because I'm going to always have those thoughts. And if you're not willing to work through it with me, then it's not going to work.
But then take this. Okay. So I can relate everything that you're saying. I can relate to. So take this as the non-cheater when we're talking about perspective. Okay. So you take that first 6 months to a year and you're constantly working to show by actions, practices, and everything. I'm trying to reassure you, you don't have to worry about this, but that person's jealousy is still at the top and you can't do anything with it. So at some point, then, and I'm say this from a personal experience. So, I mean, I don't have to make this story up. Y'all turn this thing around. So as a jealous person in perspective, so after about a year of trying to really show, go over the top, trying to show I'm a trustworthy person. You don't have to go through all those changes. After about a year or so, and I'm cut off from so many of my friends because we're jealous of friends. I'm like, ain't nothing going on with these friends, but we jealous of friends. So I'm cut off from friends trying to go above and beyond to really deal with the jealousy that you're feeling. Put yourself in these shoes. Okay. And So after about a year, I start having interaction with some of those old friends, not because I'm cheating, but because I've deprived myself and my friends of the relationship. And it's like, how long is this going to go on before we get to another level of understanding there's nothing to be worried about here? So then, while I'm what y'all gonna call sneaking, to have totally regular, normal relationships with these friends that the person's tripping off of, then when you start getting caught, I knew you were cheating. I knew you were a cheater. Why didn't you tell me? We start going through the phones and everything. Now, this, I'm telling y'all, this is some real stuff. We going through the phones and everything. You called this person right here. I knew you were cheating. The only reason why you didn't know I called that person right there is because I can't tell you I called this person right here because you're going to flip out and ain't nobody cheating and there's nothing, there is absolutely positively nothing going on. Now deal with that, turn that thing around, because that is what happens when you deal with an excessive, jealous person that thinks everybody is cheating.
Listen, before I answer that, Mel said he didn't see nothing wrong with complimenting the pound cake. He didn't. He did not see anything wrong with complimenting pound cake. Now I want to know.
No. I think you read that in the wrong tone of voice.
No, that was a question. That was a question. Mel, that was a question, wasn't it? He didn't see nothing wrong with complimenting that pound cake. He didn't see nothing.
He didn't see nothing wrong with complimenting that pound cake. That's what he said.
I want to know in the chat. Everybody,
he didn't see nothing wrong with the little bump and grind. That's what Lena said.
That's too much drama. Did y'all see anything wrong with him complimenting that pound cake the way he did? I want to see in the chat. Am I crazy or am I not crazy?
Had y'all ate that day? Had y'all ate that day? Like, had y'all had breakfast? Had he had a full day of food? Maybe that's another factor.
Listen, if this wasn't the perspective episode, listen, you're right, perspective. I don't know if he ate that day. He probably did.
He could have been starving.
He could have been starving.
You look pissed right now just thinking about it. You really look
irritated.
Language.
I don't like that.
Girl, you got so much attitude up in here right now. You still mad about it.
I did not like that. Oh God. Oh, this pound. I just can see it in my mind now. I just like what? It was my R. Kelly version. Oh,
see,
okay.
Lena, he didn't see nothing wrong.
Y'all, okay, I see. Listen, Michelle said, "Oh no, wait. Who said that? Yeah, she said he was just hungry."
That pound cake. Royal Confession said that pound cake had real butter. That's what it was.
And it did. And it did. I tasted the real butter. It did. It did. But I just felt like he did a little too much. Now, back to Aunt Jean, what you were saying. I think I think at the point, if you've been going strong, trying to reassure your jealous partner that you are not cheating for a year and really doing it and really trying to work with them and they still at the top, then I think it's time to end the relationship because you are in a relationship with somebody who's not healed. Okay, so if you can deal with that for the rest of your life, then I say go for it. But if you can't and you're at the point where you're frustrated and you're not living the life that you want to live, I think it's time to end a relationship. Let them go and do their work because, they need to do that. Now, somebody like me, what you going to say?
I was going to say, but let's also think of another perspective. You can be jealous because you have insecurities, but also your needs not being met can lead to jealousy. Because let's say you had made a pound cake for him before and he was just like, yeah, babe, it was all right. And then 2 weeks later, here comes Miss Ma'am making him pound cake and he's like, this shit is the bomb. What you put in this? Right. It would have been a whole different situation. Like,
first of all, this is my grandmama. This is my nanny's recipe. Okay, this some southern.
I've been looking at him at the corner of my eye like, I didn't even know you liked pound cake. What is going on?
You showed it, and I churned my own butter messing with this pound cake, making for you.
But your pound cake might have been nasty.
Honey, my pound cake was not nasty. But first of all, I make this pound cake for everybody in the past. Everybody love this pound cake, okay? They love this pound cake, all right? I done put my foot in this pound cake, and you just gonna say, that's it.
And that was the one.
And it tastes like toe jam. I don't want it.
Well, honey, listen. Let me tell you something. My pound cake is good, so I don't know why he went in on that pound cake like that. And I talked about that probably for like a week. He was like, "Oh my God, listen,
that was it. That was the nail in the coffin, homie. You shouldn't
listen.
even hype it.
Somebody else feed you something that I didn't cook, and you go and you act like that.
You shut your mouth.
It's over. It's I'm done. Listen.
Okay, so I have to know, and if you're not comfortable sharing, you don't have to. What ended the relationship?
What ended the relationship?
Oh, you talking about them? Okay.
And don't say that pound cake. If you're not ready, you don't have to. If you're not ready.
Oh Lord, I thought it was one. No. What ended the pound? We're just different people, and it's interesting for this episode, but it's perspective. We have different perspectives on a lot of different things. And it was very difficult for us to see each other's perspective and then also like grow from that. So that's the issue. We're still friends. We talk almost every day. He cool, but that pound cake and some other things. I was like,
I hear you.
He should have said, well, I never made him no pound cake. Okay, I'm taking my earrings off because they keep falling off. I'm gonna sit them right on over here.
And you still look gorgeous. But
listen, I didn't know if they were falling off or if you were taking them out preparing for the fight that you were about to go get in with your friend's mama because you're thinking about this pound cake again.
She getting them Timberlands out. She's ready to go.
Listen.
Ready to go.
So Lena, this is what I want to throw out there. Seriously. So what if he is your significant other? Mm-hmm. And it's just a matter of getting through a process of healing where you can trust him, where the jealousy is not as high on the charts. Mm-hmm. Could that be a possibility?
I mean, yeah, I think it could be, but I don't think it's just me. I'm not somebody who's, I'm not somebody who doesn't see it. I see that I have a jealousy issue. There's been instances where I'm jealous and I'm making up things in my mind, and then I sit back and I'm like, oh, that's actually not what happened. That was just in my mind. And so I think that if I had someone who would be willing to work through it with me and be patient and reassuring with me, I feel like I would be much better. I would be able to work through that,
Yeah.
But
is that what you're saying? The difference of perspectives is really there were so many differences in perspective that you guys couldn't hear each other's perspectives on both sides. And I wasn't trying to make it one, but I mean sometimes it's just like, okay, I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah, sure. I personally, what it was is, I'm somebody who I'm not a cheater. I'm a one man type of lady, Yeah. And so I feel like other people should have the same reactions as me. If somebody came to me and was like, who's that texting your phone? I'm just gonna be like, my friend. We went to high school together, This is what we talking about. So that there's no question in your mind. You think if you got a little suspicion that I'm doing something I'm not supposed to be doing, let me show you that I'm not. Let me show you that I'm committed to this relationship. Let me show you that you're the one that I want. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not able to
break it down, break it down.
If I say, who are you texting on your phone, and you're like, oh, nobody, just a friend, and you turn your phone over and you don't ever try to bring it back up, and you trying to be secretive and you're not, and then I tell you, I feel like some things are not right, and these are my issues. This is what happened. What's going on?
But you still I'm gonna give you devil's advocate. Let's say you asking me that question spoke to me, and it said to me, okay, she's asking me because she wants my attention. I'm gonna be dismissive of this person on the phone, put them to the side, and give her my attention. You thought I was being shady because I was just like, oh, it was my friend, and I put my phone down. But I put my phone down because I could feel that you needed me, and so I'm focusing on you.
And when you do that, I feel you. That's perspective. You're right. But once you do that, I'm going to say, I feel like you're hiding something from me because you turn your phone over. I'm going to tell you exactly how I'm feeling. I feel like you're hiding something from me. There's somebody that you're talking to that you don't want me to find out about. So we need to address it. And so then that makes it clear that no, I don't need your attention right now. What I need you to show me is who you're texting. And so if
are you one of those people who naturally puts your phone down, face down every time?
I do naturally do that, but if I'm in a relationship with a guy, then I consciously put my phone upwards because I don't want anybody to think, that I'm being dishonest. And so I already know that if I see my guy come over and he's like, hey babe, and he comes over, he sees his phone on the table and he turns it over, then I'm be like, what the heck? What are you hiding? What are you hiding?
He
maybe like the fifth time.
Hiding anything. That might just be his natural.
Shelly, this is true. This is true. But from my perspective, as somebody who's dating somebody who's very jealous, you have to be transparent and we have to assess the issues. Because the way that
so he gotta go to the table and be like, okay, Lena, I'm putting my phone down now, face down.
No. But if I express something to you that it bothers me, it makes me think that something suspicious is going on, then you need to adjust to that. And then I can start to break down my walls and trust you.
That's a compromise.
Yeah. With me, that's what's gonna make me break my walls down and get to trust you. But I think what happens with guys is that they're prideful. They don't want to, and I'm not saying everybody, but most of the time, and it might be just for the right person, Maybe I just wasn't the right, or it wasn't the right fit. But I just think that if my guy came to me and he said he had issues, and like I dated somebody who got cheated on, and he was very like jacked up by it. And so then I was very conscious about how I acted around him. I was conscious about being open with him and showing him whatever, if he had a question that like if he was like, where was you at the day? I know that he's probably feeling, or why didn't you call me? Or, you said you're gonna do this and you didn't do this. So I try to be accommodating to that because I know it's the hurt that you've experienced in the past. And so all I need to do is show you that I'm a trustworthy person. And then once you see that, then we can actually do some stuff. But first, I'm gonna have to break down those walls and let you know I'm not gonna hurt you. And that's the perspective. Now, I think I'm good at seeing the other perspective. Like with my ex, he would say stuff like, he's not doing anything wrong, so he doesn't see why he has to, what the issue is. He's not doing anything wrong, and so I understand that. But I shouldn't be the only one adjusting. You should also be adjusting to me.
Absolutely. Compromise in a long-term happy relationship should not go one of each ways. And even if it is a trait that you think that you'll work through eventually, if that person thinks that you're worth it, or you're the person they want to remain committed to, they'll make those small changes, or maybe it won't even seem like a big deal to them. Like, oh, okay.
I can speak from the other side. Now, y'all know my thing. I say we are victors and not victims. Okay, so we're tours, not Tims. But I'm going to tell you, I am the exact opposite of this story. And at the end of the day, I got towed up from the flow up, daggers, shots, you name it, arrows, put any kind of weapon in, bazookas.
But your person wasn't ready to heal, and your person wasn't in the process of healing.
Listen, it was the whole element, even to the T of. But if you really want to work through this with this individual and you can. So this, I'm gonna have to say it. Now, this is my perspective, and I'm listening to everything you guys are saying. But I've lived the other side of that coin. So it's hard when you've lived the other side of that coin and you know the realities of trying to do all of the above, bam, 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 bam. And at the end of the day, if a person is jealous and insecure, I'm going to tell you, that is a very difficult and complicated relationship to be in, such to the point that if it's an extreme jealousy, it's almost like there needs to be a period in time where you don't even look at anybody else for a relationship until you get that jealousy healed. Because it is devastating. I mean, devastating to the person that genuinely loves you, genuinely cares about you, genuinely has gone through the compromises, genuinely, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A prime, Z prime, and that person is still jealous. That's a real thing. That's hard. That's like tear your heart, rip it right out of your chest, stomp it on the ground, and keep on going. So y'all, that perspective, yeah, we coming from two different directions on this one.
I want to read this comment from Tall Pump. She said, "No, someone patrolling your phone is a red flag of jealousy. No time for that. Shows mad insecurities and just my thoughts." Oh, that's just my thoughts.
Yeah.
You know, I think that this is true. There are insecurities there when you're jealous. That's the whole point of jealousy, you know. But I think that, you know, I think y'all, if you want to be with somebody, you're gonna have to work through it with them. Now, if they're not like Aunt Jean said, I hear what you're saying, I really do, and it's actually making me think about, you know,
Mike City, Mike City, come on with that
raid. Mike, welcome.
Thank you for the raid, man. Thank you for the raid. Thank you.
Yes.
You know, I hear you, but I'm telling you, it's almost like when you talk about those kind of perspectives, even to the extent like when let's even outside of the cheating, but let's even say the difference between when you come in with the street mentality because you were raised more with the street mentality. And that's your perspective, how people act on the streets, how people think on the streets. Welcome, Raiders. Come on in. I see you. Thank you, Mike City. Thank you for bringing the raid into the Lions Den. So I'm like, listen, so Grim Reaper, I see you. Come on, sir. I got some brothers in here. So this is going to kind of balance this out a little bit, too, in the conversation. So like, even let's say you're coming from street, I'm coming from a non-street experience. And every time you have an experience, you're always making this extreme adjustment, trying to see it from that other perspective, when sometimes those other perspectives are just straight up unrealistic. They're unrealistic expectations. How far can you go with that?
Oh, okay. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I feel like if you go into a relationship and you think you're not about to do no adjusting, you're setting yourself up for failure. That's what I think.
I adjusted myself to hell and back. I adjusted myself to, and this is the thing that I think sometimes we have to talk about. Like when people are saying adjust, a lot of times it's the matter of, in reality, it's almost like you adjust because I ain't paying no attention to mail, honey.
She still think about the food stamps. Nah,
I ain't even get ready to mess with
that. You bougie.
Ain't nobody. At the end of the day, it's like when a person is constantly telling me, if you want me, you'll adjust. Sometimes that's a red flag. That's really saying that person is saying, I'm not going to adjust for you. You're going to have to adjust for me, which is just as imbalanced and unfair to the person you keep asking to adjust.
Y'all should be adjusting to each other. Y'all should be seeing things from each other's perspective. And if both of y'all are trying to do better and working, if you're working on your jealousy and you working on your, trying to, accommodate, then it should be equal, and y'all should be doing good.
Michelle just made a very good point that I was just thinking about when Aunt Jean was saying.
Try it again, Shelly. You froze up on us, baby.
Adjusting to Helen. Sometimes you know much, nothing less. I see a lag. Is there a lag?
Shelly?
You're coming back. You're coming back. Okay. We lost. She's gonna step out.
Did you know what comment she was saying?
I turned the video off. Is that better?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. I turned the video. So I'm here, but I turned the video off. Nope, I don't think that.
Our comments, they're making some really good things.
They're making good points, but that's what I was saying. You can't make adjustments to your personality. I feel like I can't act different, but I feel like you can make adjustments to your actions, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I think so too.
Like, I feel like
can you reread
my phone? Oh yeah, I can reread the comment. It says sometimes you adjust so much there's nothing left of yourself.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I feel. That's not.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Shirley.
Oh, I was just saying, I feel like the phone upright is not a big thing to me.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just trying to deal, Lena, with the idea. Now, Shelly said, or Michelle Brownell, she really said in a nutshell, compacted version of what I was trying to say. You have the person that has demanded, and I mean really demanded. I mean, and listen, now I'm gonna tell you what. I will fly with you until we get to the level where you're giving me ultimatums, either or. Ultimatum, you just told me goodbye. Ultimatum, you told me to walk out the door. Because once you give me that ultimatum, and I've even adjusted to the point where even with the ultimatum, I tried to hang in there. But once you give me that either or ultimatum, like I'm a child, like you birthed me out of your loins and you gonna tell me what to do like I'm a kid. Once you give me that ultimatum, there's nothing else I can do with that. There's nothing else I can do with that. So at the point, this is what I'm saying. Like Michelle Brownell said, sometimes you've adjusted so much that there's no more of you left, and the person is still saying adjust. It's just nothing else you can do.
Mm-hmm. I do think that's an issue. I don't think anybody should be adjusting to the point where you're depleted. I don't. But if I do stand strong on the opinion that if you going into a relationship and you don't think you're going to do some adjusting or some growing together, and it's going to be some, you're going to have to work through some things, then I think you're setting yourself up for failure. Okay, because you have
many people that go into a relationship thinking they're not going to have to adjust. I'm talking about mature people. I don't think there's very many people out here that come into a scenario thinking and believing they're not going to have to adjust and grow in and grow with the person that they're in relationship. So I don't even think that's on the table to begin with.
Well, Angie, maybe so, but younger, listen, people have these lists and people have these idea of what they want their partner to be, and they don't account for the fact that their partners and people in here in the world are human and they're not going to be perfect. People will just cut you off just like that. And I understand if you see red flags, you definitely want to protect yourself. But I think a lot of people get confused because, like that post, and I want to talk about this until 3:30, and then we'll do our thing at 3:30. But it's a post out there that says, why are marriages not lasting as long as marriages back in the day? Your grandmother, was married for 50 years, but now here in this generation, people are not married that long, or people are not in relationships that long.
Don't get me started on that one.
Listen, and I'll let you talk. I'm just gonna throw this out, and then you can grab it, Shelly. I first of all, I think that post is disrespectful because a lot of stuff that people are saying are very disrespectful. But that's just my opinion. But I just feel like you have to realize that nobody's gonna be perfect, and everybody's on a journey. Everybody's working on themselves, and you got people with issues. You got people with jealousy issues. You're gonna have people with insecurities. And so, are we just gonna be alone because people are not, perfect, or are we gonna try to, work with people and people work with us with our stuff and we grow? You know what I mean? That's what I think. Go ahead, Shelly, because I think that post is crazy.
Which post are you talking about, Marlena?
I think it's Twitter, but it says, why are marriages not lasting as long as our grandparents or the people, the older generations? And so people will say stuff like, because I'm not going to put up with grandma put up with. I'm not going to put up with this and that and this. And I think that's beautiful. You shouldn't be putting up with cheating and all of that. But I also think that it was a different time frame. Women did not have as much freedom, and this is just few generations ago. Did not have as much freedom, and so they were in marriages because it was the only way to get up, in life. To get out of your parents' house, you had to be married. You couldn't just go get an apartment or whatever. And marriage had a different idea, so it was a different, concept, kind of. So I just think that's crazy to be trying to compare, but I also think that it's also some things where you have to see people for people and be able to give people room to grow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, what were you gonna say, Shelly?
I'm on the fence. I'm one of the people who does subscribe to the thought that I'm not gonna put up with a lot of what the grandmothers put up with.
Okay.
However, I understand why the grandmothers put up with it. Back then, it was like times were hard. Like you said, women had just gained the right to vote. Black people had just gained freedoms, and still we're dealing with Jim Crow laws, even with being free. We still are dealing with oppression today, but it was heavy on them. So their relationship status was the last thing on their mind. They were trying to survive. They were trying to eat, and they weren't paying much attention. I think these days we have the luxury of being able to juggle it all appropriately and handle it all appropriately. We can give more attention to our relationships, and sometimes that means realizing this person that I married is not the person for me and walking away. But that's the same with everything else. People don't stay at the same schools forever. People don't stay at the same jobs forever anymore, because they realize that those schools and those jobs are not serving them anymore, and they can find somewhere else to serve them better. So I think it's just times have changed. But on the opposite end of the spectrum, I'm of the belief that marriage is sacred. So you should have done that work before marrying that person. You should have put in the time that you needed to really get to know them. Now, if it was cheating or abuse or something else that came about later on in the relationship, I get you walking away. But if it was just, oh, John leave socks all over the house and I just can't be with John anymore. Well, you knew John left those socks around before you married him.
It was cute at first. It ain't cute no more.
I'm picking up John's socks on a Tuesday.
And that made a snap and everything.
Right. But now it's a problem. And you got to get John up out the house. So it's like we are afforded the luxury now to be able to focus on everything and give everything a lot more attention than the people who
okay, this is my question, and we're gonna this is my question, and we're gonna go to the debate. Now, do you think that, how do I say this? Okay, so do you think that back in the day they had what it takes to make things, they decided that they're going to make it work no matter what? And so, and AG, you can take over too if Shelly doesn't come back. Yeah. They decided to make it work no matter what. In any issue, we are going to work it through. We are going to stay in this marriage. We're going to be married until death do us part, like the vow said. Do you think that they had that mindset, and now we don't quite have that mindset now? It's till death do us part if you treat me, right 24/7 for the whole marriage. It's till death do us part if, we have intimacy through the whole marriage. There's no issues. Do you think that the mindset is different, or that we're not going to, whatever it takes, we're not going to do that? If it works out, then good. If it doesn't, we divorce, as opposed to back in the day.
I am actually talking to more younger people now who have, in my opinion, gone back to I'm gonna do whatever it takes to make this marriage work. And that's really the truth. I've seen more people tantra. Yes, exactly. I've seen more people in the younger generation. I've seen the younger generation do a lot of challenge as far as the hypocrisy and everything else that we've done and seen previously in older relationships. And we're like, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, I'm not doing that. But as far as really wanting to find the one and stay with them till death do us part, I'm seeing more of the pendulum swing back to the whatever it takes. And that's just in my conversations with people that I'm dealing with as I'm getting ready to marry them. We're having conversation and whatever. I hear more of I want to do this till death do us part. And this is what I hear from them. I don't want to be like my parents. I don't want to be like my grandma. I don't want to be like my grandpa. I don't want to be like Uncle Nim and da-da-da-da-da. But they're really making a determination in their mindset going in. We want to do this one and done. We ain't trying to be out here all in the streets 50,000 times. And so that's the change that I see happening.
Shelly, did you hear the question?
I didn't hear the question. I got cut. I don't know how, but I got cut off.
Okay, I didn't quite say. Okay, the question is, back in the day, I think people were more committed to the idea that we're going to have a successful marriage and well, it might not be successful, but we're going to be married until death do us part, no matter what comes, what issues come up in this marriage, whether it be for infidelity, whether it be, money issues, sex issues, intimacy issues. It doesn't matter. We're going to stay married until, until somebody dies. And so it is different. I think that now people are more so like, yes, till death do us part, and in sickness and health, but there's a but, because they're like, if I'm not happy, or if I don't feel the way that I feel like I should feel in this marriage, or if there is infidelity or some of these issues, then I'm not going to stay here. I'm going to go find what works for me or whatever. Do you think that it's a difference of, what do you think? Is it a difference of, I guess, determination or idea of what marriage actually is, or if those vows are outdated, or what?
That's a good question. I don't know if it's a difference of determination. I just feel like maybe people are just giving up when they shouldn't be. When you should be trying to switch. I feel like people think that marriage is a routine. So it's you and another person, and you're just going through this routine for however long, 60, 80 years or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it's not. You're always going to be switching up the play. You're going to get into a routine, and then you're going to have kids, and then you're going to switch jobs, and then somebody may get sick, somebody may get injured, and you're always going to have to be reviewing the way that you run your relationship and the way that you run your life. And while you're reviewing it, changing the process of what you're doing. So I think instead of changing that process, what's happening is people are getting into a tight spot or a hard spot where things aren't working anymore. And they're dodging. They're like, all right, I'm gone. This isn't working. It has been working up until this point. It's not me, it's you. I'm gone. But in reality, what we should be doing is sitting down together and saying, look, I made this commitment to you. I still love you. I still respect you. I'm still loyal to you. So can we figure out why, I'm having these negative feelings, why I'm in this position where I'm not comfortable anymore? Or if you see it in your partner, sit them down and be like, hey, I've noticed you maybe being a little bit more down, or maybe you're not, sleeping like you usually do, and sit them down and be like, hey, I care about you. Let's get back into a spot where you feel like you're continuing to grow. Shelly Thunder just said that in the comments. She said marriage is a continuous growth process. That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm getting. Sheila Miles also said, I think younger people are insisting on authenticity more than older folks, but still want the lifetime relationship. Yes, I was going to say, Lena, when you said the older people were sticking it out, I was going to say, you mean the older women. Because women would stick it out. Women would hold it down and take care of the kids and take care of the house and still take care of the man, while the man was out here just doing whatever and whoever they felt like. So I feel like back then the women were really the riders a lot of the times, and the men were not.
They didn't have a choice.
I just heard about this. My grandma just told me about this. In our hometown, we had a players' ball. Do you want me to describe to you what a players' ball is? A players' ball is when all the men of the town come together with their women, their wives, or their longtime girlfriends, or whoever it is. Everybody dresses up nice, and they crown the player of the town. Like the man who had the most side chicks. And
they had to deal with that stuff.
What are you talking about, Grandma? And she literally was like, yeah, Shelly, we would get dressed in really nice gowns and suits and everything, and we would go and have a players' ball. Mm-hmm. And my grandfather, God rest his soul, was often the player. He was often crowned the player.
Well,
that's what brought us into the conversation. Is she was like, your grandma was always the player at the players' ball, and I'm like, what the heck is the players' ball, Grandma?
Monica Smith said we had them here in Kansas City, Missouri. Yeah, I'm not surprised, but that was. First of all, I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna do our debate. I'm gonna say this. Yeah. Women had to deal with some of the stuff back in the day that we don't have to deal with now. So we should be grateful for the women and all their hard work to get us to where we are now, to where, you know, we can be the players too. Or if we don't want to be in a bad situation, we can go out here and do commerce and do business and not be in a bad situation. So that's what I say about that.
Absolutely.
And yeah, it's
especially Black women. Black women are now the highest. I think they're like the highest ranked group of people by I'm not saying this how it should be said, but they're the most educated group of people per capita. So like out of all the white men, all the white women, all the Black men, and all the Black women are top ranked.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I've heard that.
We out here getting it. And we're like, look, I'll do it on my own, son.
Which is kind of unfortunate a little bit. It's pros and cons to it. It's awesome that we are that successful and we're going to take care of business and financially we got it. That's awesome. But it also is a little kind of sad because it changed the dynamic of some relationship where people can't wrap their head around it, or we're still trying to figure it out. A lot of people are still trying to figure it out. Some people got to figure it out, but a lot of people are still trying to figure it out. So it's pros and cons to everything. Ain't nothing wrong with having more money. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Being more educated and more money, that's a blessing.
Nothing wrong with it. That's
a blessing. Rich Black women. Rich Black women. I love it.
Mal Holiday said, bring home the bacon and cook it. Yes, ma'am.
Cook it and eat it too, baby. Wrap it around the chicken. Wrap it around the asparagus. Do what you gotta do. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna read this last comment. Shelly Thunder said, women today don't have the tolerance or patience to deal with what women did back then. They were less independent, so they pretty much had no other options but to stick it out. Yeah, they were not able to be independent. You know, laws made them unable to be independent. So yeah, I think that, that's true. So, you know, we in the generation we in, and we're grateful. We learn and we get better. But I also think that we definitely have to realize that people are people, and we need to be able to give people room to grow.
Yes.
Okay, I'm really excited. Our next segment today, we're doing something different. We're going to do a debate. Woo! We're going to facilitate a debate today, okay? And we might switch it up a little bit, but for the first topic, I'm going to be the proctor, okay? Shelly and Angine are going to be our debaters, all right? So
no, what? This is not fair.
Yeah, it's fair. Oh yeah, it's happening, Shelly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just give her a crown and I'll
no, it ain't that kind of party, Shelly. It ain't that party.
The idea about this debate, because you know our topic is perspective, right? So there's so many instances in places in life where you have to be able to see other people's perspectives to grow. And right now in the country, it's a lot going on. There's a lot of different opinions, and people are set on their opinion of things. And so it's hard to see the other side. So today we're going to be doing a debate to kind of challenge that. And I want everybody that's watching to also challenge themselves today. So our first topic, I'll let you guys know. Let me pull it up here. Our first topic is, hold on, I've got to turn that thing around. Okay, our first topic is getting vaccinated is the responsible thing to do, and it saves lives. Everyone should be vaccinated. Mm-hmm. So this is our first topic. And I think that most people, and I would think that most of our viewers have an opinion on this. But today, what we're going to do is we're going to give each of you the opposite. So first of all, tell me, Shelly, what's your opinion on that statement?
Okay, so I had to go out really quick. I missed the last part of what you said.
Okay, the topic is get vaccinated. It is a responsible thing to do, and it saves lives. Everybody should be vaccinated. So tell me, is your opinion for that or against it? Just real quick. You don't have to get an explanation.
Mostly for. Mostly for it.
Okay, and Angine, is your opinion for it or against it?
Mostly for.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is, since both of you guys are for it, I'm actually just going to give Angine, you have to argue against it.
Okay.
And then Shelly, you can argue for it. Okay. So our first round, you get 2 minutes. Okay. So the objective is, everybody in the chat, if you are for this statement, then you need to kind of argue against it. So if you have a comment, you have to comment against it. If you are against the statement, then you have to comment for it. Okay. And the idea is to kind of see different perspectives. Okay. So you get 2 minutes and you can express your opinion and you try to get us to agree with you or, convince us. And then whoever does it the best, we're going to have the chat decide who gives the best argument. Okay.
Okay, got
it. So Shelly, I'm going to let you go first. Mm-hmm. Let me get my little clock here.
Okay.
Okay, you get 2 minutes to kind of give your argument, and remember, you're arguing for it. Okay.
Okay.
All right, let's go. Start now.
Okay, so in March 2020, coronavirus hit us. It hit us hard, and it had already hit us before March 2020. A lot of people lost their lives before we even knew what coronavirus was, and before we even, before it took over as a global pandemic. So we suffered hard for a great amount of time, almost an entire year. We had to shut down the whole country. People's health was affected. The economy was affected. And now we are in a position where we are offered a vaccine. There's a lot of misconception behind the vaccine that people are believing that's placed on the internet and other sources that is not just simply not true. So I suggest that everyone get the vaccine. I mean, there's been the appropriate amount of research, not only within the last couple of years, supported by big pharma and billionaires. And if there's not one thing I trust big pharma for, I trust them for putting the money where it's going to make money. So me saying that means that they're paying into the vaccine because they know that it's going to pay off. It's going to help the community survive so that they can drive the economy back up. And it's also going to make them money by selling it to the hospitals that are administering it to us. So they're in it to win it all the way. As long as we stay alive and we stay healthy, we are going to be going out to these stores and making purchases. Get your vaccine, see your family. Don't carry the antibodies so you don't have to carry the virus to grandma's house. I feel like that was under 2 minutes, but I'm good.
Okay, good job. Clap it up for Shelly. That was a good argument for the vaccine. Okay, and Jean, it's your turn. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
And you are arguing against the vaccine?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Start now.
Let me first begin with the idea that we have very few viruses that are naturally mutated in the earth right now. I feel like there is a lot of created scenarios to make wealthier people wealthier, to make wealthy people wealthier. So if I look at the reality that, number one, we go all the way back to H1N1, we can look at anthrax, we can look at all of these different things that to me are a result of biological warfare that we are playing with. And the people that are playing with it and creating it are really designing it so they can use it as biological warfare against less developed countries. That being said, as they pump it in other places and as they pump it here, if you look at and go back to, there was a movie that came out, I'm trying to think the name of it, where the little monkey came down with the Outbreak. If you look at Outbreak, that same scenario, they found something that was natural, figured out how to replicate it, had a cure for it the whole time. They had a remedy from day one, put it out there, wanted to keep it for their little pet to be able to use in warfare. But some way or another, it still got out amongst the people. And at the end of the day, yes, it ended up mutating. Now, my point here is that ultimately, I feel like the majority of what's going on right now is that we continue to man-make all of these different viruses, put it out here in the environment for the purpose of making somebody money. We put it out here with whether it's a matter of death makes money, let's just deal with that. Catastrophe makes money, let's deal with that. Then to come up with the answer to that, that makes money as well in the cure, which is exactly what the vaccine is. And so I refuse to be vaccinated to make somebody else money.
Well, Jean, that was good. That was good. We got some comments. Tall Pump says, you trust Big Pharma? What else she say? Getting the vaccine doesn't make you not transmit or get the vaccine. So that part. And then she said, vaccine is not a cure. Okay. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to give Shelly a chance to rebut. Okay. So you get another 2 minutes. Or is it, yes, rebut. Is it rebut?
A rebuttal. Mm-hmm. Yes.
A rebuttal.
No, but it's rebut. Mm-hmm.
It's rebut. Okay. Okay. So Shelly, you get a chance to rebut. You got 2 minutes. Go ahead. Start now.
Okay, so listen, people. This is real life. This is not theatrics. We see the movies. We know what they've done in film, and although we may believe that coronavirus was man-made, I am also a believer of coronavirus being man-made. The fact of the matter is, it has continued to destroy communities. There's a health crisis going on right now. So whether they did create it for ill purposes, we now have a solution. We have something that's going to help us heal and at least help us move forward. There are going to be boosters. Don't be afraid of boosters. People get boosters daily. We give our children vaccines so that they can go to school, so that they can fight off illnesses that we've had in decades before, in centuries before. So it shouldn't be a thing where we're like, oh, well, they created this. Why should we have to take a vaccine against it? Well, the fact of the matter is, whether they created it or not, we still want to heal ourselves from it. We still want to be the victors over the coronavirus. So the vaccine and the boosters are our solution. There has been immense amount of studies, even before the year 2020 and 2021, the vaccine for the SARS-5, or I'm sorry, I don't know the proper acronym for coronavirus, but the vaccine for coronavirus had been studied for at least a decade prior to 2020. So it's in a stage where it was already in a stage before the virus ran rampant through the world, actually. So it's something that we should believe and that we should heal in. Honestly, there's not many reasons I can see that are viable for not protecting yourself with the vaccine.
Okay. And Jean, you get a rebut to the rebut and the original statement. You got 2 minutes.
And I just want to say in the comments, you cannot vote against me.
Yes, you can.
You don't stand with me. You can only vote against me if I'm not making good points.
Oh, okay, yes, that's right. So in the comments, you want to vote who makes the best argument, not your opinion. Okay. So if you're against the virus and you try to vote for Jean for that, but you think that Shelly gave a better argument, that's not right. You want to do the vote for who gave the better argument. Okay. And Jean, 2 minutes, go.
Well, if we look at the same idea that we have in concept of, you remember the days when we used to have radar detectors, and the radar detector was made by the same people that made the radar. And so the reality was, you're never going to get a radar detector that's able to meet and fight the radar. They're always going to give the law enforcement a better radar. Same with this vaccine. If they're creating the vaccine, they're going to always have something out there that's going to not ever get you to the point where you are meeting, just like that radar detector. The radar detector is never going to meet the level of the radar. The vaccine is never going to meet the level of the virus that's out there. Again, dealing with the reality, their intent is to make money. One of the reasons why they let it make so many people sick before they put it out there was to allow everybody to be in a panic, so that they feel like I absolutely positively have to be vaccinated. So you don't even have to sell the vaccine. Just tell, hey, here's a vaccine, and you just made millions upon millions of dollars because everybody wants to get it, because look how many people died, and I surely don't want to be next. So some people, you deal with, you're not taking the flu shot. You didn't jump out there 10 years ago with H1N1. You didn't run in line to get anthrax. There were a lot of military people that when they said you're going to take this anthrax, and they were like, no, we're not going to do it, and they got out of the military, and there were numbers and hordes of people, because you cannot prove that there's not something else going on with this. And I'm gonna say it once more and again, just like that radar detector to the radar, it will never catch up, and you'll always be behind.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll clap for the ladies and giving their arguments. You guys really gave some great points and different perspectives, right? This is something that's very open, like, yeah. If this is something that a lot of people kind of talk about right now. But I'm in the chat. I would like we have some comments. I would like for everybody to vote. Tell us who you thought gave the best arguments. Okay. Now, and also you can comment and say, what your opinion is, but you're supposed to be commenting your opposite opinion, right? Because today we want to talk about perspective and being able to see different people's perspective and what they think. And I think that that's basically going to help everybody kind of understand each other so that we can work together, you know, and push forward. So in the comments, tell me who y'all think won the argument. I'm going to give my opinion. Y'all were pretty good. Y'all were pretty good. Not bad at all. Not bad at all.
Come on, Shelly Welly. You held your ground, sis. You held your ground. I love it.
What did you think, Shelly? What did y'all think about that?
Listen, and although I am mostly for the vaccine, a lot of those things I did not believe. I've just seen other people saying them on the internet.
Yeah.
I've seen other people pointing these out, and so I'm like, it's a reach, but I'm gonna use it.
Sheila Miles said a draw. She thinks it's a draw. We about to Rebel Ink did put us up a poll, so you can definitely vote and see which one did you think gave the better argument for this topic. The poll is up. So everybody, who do you think won? Can I vote? I think I'm gonna vote too. Let me see.
And just so you know, the poll's only in Twitch. So if you're not in Twitch, you can't poll. You can't.
Okay.
I voted.
So our Twitch folks. Okay, STL, you got 4. Shelly got 2 right now. Oh, we're gonna see. What did you think about each other's opposite argument?
I think Aunt Jean's argument was in line with what I think more realistically. So I think she had a great argument because I personally feel that the vaccine is great to offer to people. However, because there have been some dwindling, some lies behind pharmaceuticals, especially in our country, over the years, it's hard to try to convince everybody that you need to have it. Also, when you tell people get this vaccine, but it's not going to keep you from getting the virus, that's hard on me. Like, that's hard for me to kind of wrap my head around. Mm-hmm. Because when I get the not smallpox, when I get the rotavirus, and when I get what are the other ones? DTaP and the chickenpox, those all prevent me from getting them. So I'm just confused as to why the coronavirus wouldn't as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a conversation everybody's having. Everybody's, talking about it. So I just think it's interesting. We can go to the next topic. Now, does anybody else want to be proctor, or should I continue to be proctor? And y'all,
let me do the proctoring, and then you and Shelly can debate.
Okay, Aunt Jean, do you have the
you know what? Let me see if I can figure.
I can say it.
I was gonna say, can you set it and run it too? Because I trust you to be honest.
Okay, so our next topic is America has been literally consumed by consumerism. Okay, the people here drown in their things, and it is an epidemic in itself. This is the second topic. All right, Shelly, what's your opinion of this? Are you for this or are you against this?
I believe in this.
You believe this?
This is true.
I believe this too. I just take a look around my house. I'm like,
I argued for the vaccine, so I'll argue against.
No, the proctor tells us which one.
Okay, go ahead, Angie.
Okay, and I'll go with that. I'm gonna have Shelly argue against that. People are not consumed by consumerism. Lena, you will argue that people are consumed by consumerism, and we'll take the affirmative first, which is you, Lena. And so, set your clock whenever you're ready to go. Give yourself 2 minutes.
Okay, start. Now, I want everybody to take a gander. Take a look around your own house. I want you to look at everything you got. Mm-hmm. I want you to look at the shelves and all the stuff you got stacked on your shelves. I want you to look at your cabinets and see that you got 20 plates and it's only 3 people that live in your house. Okay? It is an issue. We have too much stuff. We have houses. We need 1,200 square feet, not because we take up the room, but because our stuff takes up the room. It's a whole industry. Movers. They charge us leg and a foot to move our stuff. Okay. And it's just too much. When you think about these things that are sitting around your house and all the stuff that you own, how often do you actually use it? If there was an issue in the world and we needed to just drop and get the essentials and leave and go somewhere to be safe, what would you grab? You grab your kids, you grab some food, you grab one pair of clothes. That's it. And you would get out of there. It wouldn't be all the stuff that you paid all this money for. It wouldn't be all the stuff that you've gotten credit to get the stuff for, because you really ain't got the money. It would be the bare essentials, okay? And if you just think about it, you know, people in Africa don't even, some of them have lived their whole lives and never owned a pair of shoes. Here you got 50. I got about 10 pair of shoes in there, okay? It is entirely too much. We don't need as much as we say we need. And we think about consumerism. The business is really about buying and making people buy. And it's a business. It's not necessarily the things that you need. So I just think that, you know, we really need to take a step back and look at all the stuff. You know, we think it's a new product coming out every single day. QVC, they run all night. People stay up all night and look at all this like, oh, a cucumber cutter. I need that. No, you don't need that. You got a knife. Okay? That's $50 you ain't got to spend. So we have to really think about that. So that's my time. Okay. I don't know how to turn my timer on. There it is. Okay.
So, okay. So, okay, I'm good to go?
Yes, go.
All right. Here's the thing. Are we consumed by consumerism? Not quite sure. We have the things that we need to be able to navigate our daily lives in a comfortable manner. You don't want, who wants to struggle? No one has ever said, oh, I want to struggle. I want to have a difficult life. So the things that we have are not too much. They're the things that we need so that our lives are able to be at ease. We can complete a task. We can shred our documents faster with a shredder, as opposed to ripping them up with our hands, and get back to playing with our families and our kids, and, you know, hugging our spouses. It's not that we are consumed by our things. It's that we like to allow for more time to do the things that we truly enjoy. So the tools that we have may seem a bit unnecessary to outsiders looking in, but there's a reason why the United States has the New York Minute. We can get things done quickly and get back to the matters that are at hand, that matter most to us. Now, also, when we get on the point of, if we want to take it to the point of like global warming and taking care of the planet, there are no rivers and beaches and oceans in the United States that are consumed with plastics and products and bags and things like that. All of those places are outside of our country. So, I mean, global warming didn't start here. It's not going to finish here. I think we're taking care to know that the things that we are using, we are the #1 country for repurposing. So if I do buy 7 mason jars of spaghetti, I'm going to reuse those mason jars for Q-tips in my bathroom and planters to propagate new plants and other things. So I think we're consuming the right amount. I think we have the right amount of things in our house to be able to successfully live.
Awesome. Okay, Lena, and you have a rebuttal to what she just said, and let's go whenever you get it set.
Okay. Listen, there are first of all, it's only one. We're all connected, okay? There are people in Africa building houses out of water bottles and plastic bottles. Okay, so the fact that we have to ship our trash to other countries because we have so much trash because we're consuming so much. The fact that these, fast food restaurants, everybody, you get a paper brown bag, this stuff, listen, the ocean is the ocean wherever, whichever country you are, we all sharing the same oceans. Okay, so if this plastic bag closer to India and they got all the plastic in the ocean, that's still going to affect us. Maybe not as quickly, but it is going to affect us. Okay, so if you sit here and say that we don't have a consumer issue and that we're not living above our consuming needs, then you're very sadly mistaken. And yes, Mike City, water bottles. They're building houses out of water bottles. Okay, do I need to say that slower? In Africa, in different countries, and it's our trash that we're shipping over there. Why are we shipping our trash over there? We don't have room in here in America for our trash. It is impressive, but the idea that we don't have room for our trash in our own country is mind-boggling. It's important for us to not be excessive because we're using the resources that are not really ours. You know, we're using resources, but they're really the generations after us. But we're consuming it because it's convenient and because it feels good to be able to drive to work by myself and, you know, have all of this because I don't want to do public transportation or whatever. It's just entirely too much, and we have to take a step back and say, okay, you know, I see it.
Good job. Good job. And here we go with the rebuttal to the comments. Go ahead, Shelly.
Okay, the reason why we're shipping our trash over to other countries is because those are third world countries. They are not in the same financial standpoint as our country. They need those resources that we are not using. So honestly, we're taking care of the planet in that right. We're sending them the things that we don't need so that they can rebuild over there. I feel like we're being more helpful than we are being harmful in that right. Us using those products and then allowing them to start over in fresh new lives with those products is allowed. I just read in I can't remember the country, but in Asia, they are starting a plant where they are buying trash from the United States because they have created an entire green city. So they burn our trash, and they are able to fuel their entire country off of the trash that they burn from us. So I mean, we think other people think that we are overdoing it, but at this point, I think that our consumerism benefits the entire world because when you're able to take one man's trash is another man's treasure. So when you're able to take the trash of one country and fuel and provide a new life for another country, it's just great. And maybe soon we'll be able to, you know, borrow on that patent and create those countries over here. I think that the amount of waste that we make with our consumerism is adequate. We are not at the point where we have overwhelmed our country. We are not at the point where we have overwhelmed even the entire planet. I think that a lot of the global warming issues are not sourced in America. As I said before, we are the reuse capital of America. Go in any Black person's kitchen right now, and there is a bag full of other plastic bags underneath their sink because we don't throw those plastic bags out. We use them for trash bags. We use them for deep conditioning sacks. We use them for shower caps. So consumerism isn't a problem. We're doing what we need to do, and we are also providing waste to other countries to repurpose it.
Good job. Good job.
Can I rebut the rebut? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Golly.
Oh,
they're not. Listen, they are not, you know, they are not using trash to refill the city because that's what they prefer. Or they wouldn't rather use the stuff that we use. They are being innovative and having to deal with the shit. So, I mean, what? America's the top. We the smallest country. We got the most trash. It's innovative, but they not trash, girl. Wait. Okay, go ahead. Wait.
Listen, I'm nervous. I forgot that I had already.
Wait, it was a good argument, but I was like, wait, what?
I do want to say this to both of you because a lot of the listeners and viewers, I think, were unaware that they are actually doing this. So for anybody that wants to go out here, you'll find all kinds of videos. You'll find different articles about EcoZone. Go there. They talk about building the houses with the plastic. They talk about using the plastic materials, all of that. There's a whole foundation. That's all they do is bottle house constructions. So listen, this was some good argument that you guys put out there. I'm just saying that long enough for our moderator. Is the poll ready, sis? Is the poll ready? Are we ready to put that poll up? You guys did good. This was a good argument, ladies.
It really was. Good job.
That was
the
good.
Poll is up. Who won?
I done rebutted the rebut. I can't do this.
This was good. This was good. Those of you in Twitch, please. Shelly is at the top. Lena's just below her. I want y'all to put in that vote. Put that vote in quick, fast, and in a hurry. That was an awesome argument on both sides. You guys did great. You both did great. I want to tell you. It was good.
I'm sorry, guys. We're so out of time today. There won't be a turn that thing around.
Yes.
You know what?
Please don't send shots my way.
We're gonna save it for next week. We've had a good time on this podcast, and
it has.
Like I said, the topic was, perspective. Mm-hmm. The whole point of our debate was to be able to argue your opposite view. So, and I feel like if you're able to do that, then you can try to see what other people, how they're thinking, and why they might come to the conclusion that might be completely opposite from you.
Mother made the poll inaccessible for me this time.
I like to thank the Academy. I like to thank the folks. And listen, consumerism, we have an issue, but I'm about to go to Walmart right after this.
I would have won.
I didn't vote for myself, so that's good. I appreciate y'all. They love me. They really, really love me. My shoulders going.
Ladies, I got to tell you, Mike City, I want you to come back. He was prepared to talk about Tantra today. So he came in, he was ready to chit chat with y'all.
Oh, yes.
I know we're out of time. We're out of time, ladies, but we're good. The next time he trots up in here, his lips, hips, and fingertips, we're going to talk about some Tantra because he is a practicer and he is a perfectionist of Tantra. So just letting you know. But Mike City. No, go ahead. Yeah.
Let's just have a whole sex show. Mike City, next time. We're just going to get in that thing. Okay. We're going to have props. We're going to have paperwork. We're going to have things we can send y'all. So we all can just grow in the sexual department. But
chocolate. Yes.
Chocolate. You talking to me? Huh? What's good?
Well, I enjoyed you guys. This was fun. Thank you, everybody in the chat. BTD Mom, Mel, Shelly Thunder, Tall Pumps, My City, all of our regulars. Thank you to our moderator, Red Bull in the house. And I mean, this is just great. I love this little community that we have. Make sure that you run on over to Facebook if you have any questions, if you want to continue the conversation. Thank you to Phoenix Leoa, the great, the glowing, the beautiful, for always being great. You're such a great companion on the show. I appreciate that.
Listen, we all got some good energy, so I'm excited. Yes. So listen, guys, make sure you come back to us next Friday, 2 p.m. We will be here. We will meet you here. We're going to talk about a variety of stuff. Also, Shelly mentioned our Facebook page, Reboot This. That's REBOOT This. So definitely join. We're going to have some polls on there. We're going to have some conversations on there. So we thank y'all for being here, and we will see you guys next Friday at 2 p.m. And have a great weekend.
Yes. See ya.
Growth, longevity, understanding, and integrity. We on the road. Graduate, self-discovery. Got a lot to learn in this life, and I'm excited. Gonna do it, my people like mine. How you gonna reboot when you need reboot? How you gonna reboot? Reboot.